Hello, all of you vaingloriously wonderful people, and welcome back to Broston County, the city and city skylines that I am building with my friend Destin. It was actually his idea to do this, and I am enjoying it quite a bit. I've never built a city with someone else, and it's kind of fun. If you're new to the series, it follows kind of the 5 builders, 1 city type situation, where I build for a little bit, record my video, and then I send him the save. Well, I just share it to my Steam workshop. Honestly, you can grab the files too yourself. The link to my Steam profile is in the description of every one of my videos. But then he takes the save and he works on a bit of the city, and then sends it back to me, and so on and so forth. Destin does not do his own voiceover work though. Not something he's really set up for, plus something he just doesn't really want to do, which I can totally respect. So instead, we take a look at his footage sped up a little bit. It's about 500% sped up. Today we have just a little over 45 minutes of total gameplay from Destin, shrunk down into about 10 and a half minutes, 10 minutes, 20-ish seconds or so, maybe a little less than that. And of course, I provide the narration, obviously, because I'm the one running my mouth right now. So, notes from Destin that he built on the 2 flat plats of land up here in the hills that I've kind of been leaving set aside for him. I zoned in this area, I didn't zone in the area, but I built the highway that runs through this area weeks ago, and I filled in 1 portion, and I've been intentionally leaving these other 2 sections to see what he'd like to do with them, if anything. And today he did bring the population up to about 36,000. We have a smaller community, which I believe is this one right here, where he gave it a little bit of a grid to give it what he calls a community feel. And then he does go on back there. You can see it's already kind of plotted out. Washington Meadows. He builds a small custom community park. And small parks are fine parks. They don't all have to be big, huge 5-star parks. Sometimes, they can just be there to add a gazebo and a climbing frame, and that's fine. That's completely acceptable. For this other area, he wanted to make it into kind of a mountain road type feel community with a lot of tree cover that shields the homes not only from the highway but from each other. You'll see he put in a lot of those trees as well. There's only 3 connections to the highway, and he spaced them pretty far apart just to avoid any traffic congestion. Since it's mostly residential, that's fine, spacing them far apart. It does make a bit of a challenge for services because they have to drive down a pretty long road, and they are dirt roads, so they go even slower. But I think in the end, it really works out. He also goes back, and at some point after he stopped recording in the first area that he built, he downgrades a lot of that to dirt roads. I don't know why. He just said that, yes, I did that. Because I saw his video playthrough, but when I loaded the save, it was suddenly dirt versus the regular asphalt that we have. You can kind of see it over there to the left right now. And I thought, wow, we've got sync problems again. Because we've had some synchronization issues with the game, but I think we'll be okay. I think, if we wind up getting a lot of residential demand in this area, I did downgrade the highway as it runs through these 2 town areas to an actual street instead of a highway, so we could do zoning for commercial down through there if any is needed. There's the trees. There we go. Look at him go. Lots and lots of trees. But overall, I was really happy to see what he had done or what he did with these 2 areas. I think it brings just some unique feeling. Each place kind of feels like its own individual little town. There's a larger area currently to the left off screen that I built, and it's kind of a small town. It really is. Not quite a city, but definitely bigger than these areas here. And so I kind of like just the smaller community feel that he has created over here in these two areas that I had flattened out for future expansion. It looks really good. I like the little park detail. I think it's nice to just kind of, just have an area, and he's even throwing in, some seating around the central corridor, and that's it, and that's enough, to be honest. So he did put some commercial in. Okay, I forgot that he had added some commercial, but we can always add more along that main corridor if we need to. It does carry a ton of traffic. I remain surprised by exactly how much traffic travels up and down these areas. I don't know if I do it. I can't remember if I do it on camera or if I just kind of put them in after the fact. But eventually we do get some bus lines that go up to the slightly larger area that I've built, and then they just connect to the bus terminals down in some key areas in the main town itself. The map is Broston County. Each of these little towns are just that. They're all their own little towns. So we've got our main town down here. Don't know what it's called yet because I haven't really named it. And then we've got the three hillside villages that kind of was originally built to support the farming industry that's near there. But then I kind of wanted them to take on their own character as well. He did move back down into the city, as you can see, just to get a little bit more zoning in, just to try to bring that population up. One of the goals that we've been working for is to get the cargo hub, that really nice big cargo ship terminal that also includes rail access. Been working really hard to get that in to try to cut down on some of the industrial traffic that goes through. It looks like now we're going through and adding in some more streets, which works out well because he's not zoning in a way that takes up the full lots. It gives smaller homes, so in effect everybody gets really nice big yards. So it's easy enough to go through and add these roads in behind and maintain the consistency of the size of homes that he's been getting anyway, just because of the fact he is zoning for smaller buildings in mind. And again, I really dig it. You don't have to have big, huge level 5 homes, that sprawl across the 4x4 tile everywhere on your map. You can take some liberties and definitely create some places that have some unique characters and some unique charm. And I think he has succeeded in that. I really do appreciate what he's done. He definitely builds with an entirely different character and an entirely different theme even than what I do. But I think in the end, it all ties together really well and kind of makes the place feel more alive, kind of makes it feel more real. And because that happens in the real world, one developer is working in one area, another developer works in another area. New leadership over the decades, comes to the planning boards, and different planners come through as they move throughout their career. And, so developments change, and the character of the town can feel really different from one place to another in real life. So I dig it. I really do. And I think that's what I've enjoyed the most about this series, is just getting to see how having two different builders, I've been playing the game since it first launched, but Destin really only got into it in the past year or so. So just the different, I wouldn't say skill levels, but just the different experience levels with the game. And just the different preferences for building styles. I think it's really cool. He did wind up having to place in a little bit more thermal. I don't think he had realized I had put the power plants over in a different area. But we're going to watch here in just a few seconds. He's going to do one little street adjustment right here. I guess he didn't like that one. I don't know. He'll tell us in the comments down below if he feels like it. Added in a little bit more zoning. But I think that about wraps up for his build. So we'll watch as some things upgrade, and then we'll jump into my build. And here we are, taking a look at everything that Destin has built. And I really like this neighborhood. Not really sure why he went with dirt roads, but he did. And I'm just going to leave it with that. I thought about actually upgrading them, but if I do, there's several places that we would lose what he has done with being very intentional with the zoning. You can see, and I could turn collisions off, but then the houses would probably be sitting up by the sidewalk. It's really weird. So we're just going to leave it dirt. I'm fine with that. What I thought was really strange, though, is that he went through and downgraded all this to dirt. And I think that's an odd decision because of the commercial there. Same there. But again, it's his build, so I'm gonna leave it alone. I do like his little park here. I think it's fantastic. And it'll even upgrade once it gets some visitors. I went ahead and turned on the main park and advertisement campaign just to draw some people up here. But yeah, I'm really excited about it. Oh, we have a bit of a death wave happening, do we? Is that just localized because the cemetery is emptying? I think so. I have added in a couple things just between recordings. I added in a crematorium. And I think some disaster shelters. Yeah, there's like one there in this neighborhood. I didn't delete anything. I placed them in places that That's what I said. I put them in places where they didn't override anything or cause anything to be demolished. I put this one next to the high school. I know that I've seen a lot of... Whoop, I keep hitting escape. My keyboard's very sensitive. But I know that in several towns I have lived in, smaller towns, the schools usually... Either schools or libraries or town hall, something like that, is where you find any type of disaster shelter. So I'm not too worried about these few dead people. The crematorium has a couple hearses available. This is emptying. Oh, you can go ahead and stop it emptying. But I want to turn my attention to employment. When Destin wrapped up, many of our businesses over here in both our industrial areas were complaining about not enough workers. I sort of resolved that a bit by coming through here and removing the offices from here, and it's fine. We have the retail, and it works. Though I may change it all to be shopping malls. But I took out the offices there and replaced that with some commercial, and then added in some more residential. And then over here, we had a double row of high density commercial, same back here. And you can see I just shrunk that back. And so we only have a little bit of commercial and then offices. And then we have, that gave me 4 blocks on each side of high density residential. And that resolved our not enough workers problem, but swung the pendulum in the opposite direction. So now we need more jobs again. But what we're going to do is come way out over here and figure out where exactly we're going to bring this road in. I may straighten it out a little bit and move this stuff. I did resolve the river flooding problem, but it looks like I may have gone too far to the one direction. I went through and lowered the water by just like one little pixel. Like you can see, raise it up. I'm going to raise it back up. But we did have localized flooding back here. That's going to take a minute for that to settle down. So I'm going to let the water settle down, and then we're going to look and see what we can do for our forestry industry. Yeah, the water's chilled out, and I'm hoping that we won't experience the flooding. I am going to make sure that we don't put the industry right up against the water. But I would like to get some industry in here and also a connection like here-ish. But first things first is I just want to temporarily relocate these buildings. So I also want to get the path. So I want to do... I don't want any of that. I think... oops, I don't want the trees. And I want the segments. So that should give me just that, and then I can move this stuff like over to here for now, and it can just kind of go chill over there, and that makes me happy. So if we bring a road in like here, that would be fine. We could also bring a road in here and connect up this way, and I don't think that's a bad idea. We do have a bit of an issue, though. We're going to either have at-grade crossings, or we have to bring the bridge up before we get here and then have the bridge come all the way across. That's, I suppose, fine. And we would have to do pretty much the same thing right here. I think I'm going to straighten this one out, though. It's had a curve for a long, long time, but I think I'd rather it just go straight from here. Just come out like there, and then let me turn my snap tubes back on, and then come across this railroad, probably right here. No, I want it farther down, so we are going to wind up curving that. So what I just did, we're going to undo. Let's get the bridge across the railroad kind of like here. So we're going to go up, maybe. I'm going to go ahead and go up 10. Let's go up 12 meters just to be sure we get this thing high enough at the start. Yeah, that's good. And then let's go ahead and back this off again. I know. I can't make up my mind. And I want the curve to begin after that little spot. So we're just going to go ahead and I want to get this down on the ground. And I want it to be straight. There we go. And then same thing over here. Bring this down. Just go out 12 because that's the maximum you can do without using mods, and it gives you a nice slope. And then we will just create a curve here. I'm going to try to freehand it. That probably helps. And by that I mean the road guidelines. Yeah, that'll work. I'm good with that. Something I wanted to do over here. I don't know if it's going to fit, and I don't remember where it is. Not the Posh Mall. Is it this one, Mall of Moderation? Oh, it fits. Yeah, it fits beautifully. I thought that would be a nice little addition over here, but we've got one other mall, don't we? Oh, that's just the big Grand Mall. And that one doesn't fit, but I think the Mall of Moderation, let's get out of this view. I think this would look really cool right here. We could put it going that direction, but no. We've got all this parking just ready to go here. And the back side of it's not hideous. I mean, it would be, store branding, and there's walkways there. I just think that kind of fits there and fills in that space nicely. I don't remember what video I was watching, but somebody had the Mall of Moderation that they were putting in, and I think it was Imperial Jedi's live stream actually, and I thought, you know what, I think that would look good over by the parking lot that we have. I mean, we've got all this parking, there's a street right here, why not? So cool. That's a good spot for this to come through, and I guess we can just kind of curve around and connect here instead of down here. I am still going to bring this through to connect, and I'll probably even bring that collector on over to connect as well. Just to get some more connectivity. Maybe trucks that are wanting to come to this part of town won't have to go through there, though that's still going to be the shorter route, and that's probably what they're going to prefer, but excuse me, hiccup, a boy can dream. We're just going to do industry roads out here, and I think this is probably the closest to straight we get right here. Yeah, and so we can come off at a good 90 degrees on that. And then we just want to come over here by the water. And I'm going to go ahead and go up the same 12 just to give the bridges some visual consistency. And then we will bring this down to the ground, and then that should just be a straight shot. And then here, bring it down to the ground. 12, cool. And then this one I'm going to use the mod. Maybe. There we go. I want to create connection from here to here. And then I just want to make, these bigger. There we go. That one doesn't need to be the one that changes. It's this one. Let's turn this around so I can see it a little better. And let's just bring that way up so that's a bit of a gentler curve. I mean, that's huge, but I think it's fine. And it made this middle section a bridge for some reason. Neat. We can fix that. That's not that complicated. Turn on anarchy. Upgrade it. And then let's make sure, is that really sitting high? Yeah, it is. So we are going to grab these nodes. Those nodes are really close together. Oh, wow, we already have cars using this? Nice. So we're going to grab all of these nodes and drop them to train height. Cool. And now we're going to get started on a forestry industry. So as I mentioned, I don't want to get directly against the water here. So this, I think, will be a nice little barrier. In fact, probably where the road is mostly straight. I mean, I know it's not a perfectly straight line through here, but where it's mostly straight, I think would be a nice natural divider. But if we take a look at our resources, we don't really have any dark green out here. So I'm going to get rid of any ore and oil and fertile land that is out here. So we will get rid of the ore first. And that takes care of that. There wasn't a lot, but there was some. And then we'll get rid of the oil. And again, not a lot. It looks like there's still a bit of ore right there. There we go. And then we will get rid of any fertile land that's there. And then we're going to turn off lock forestry. We're going to come into our forestry brush and not remember if we have a Broston County brush. Not. I don't think we do. We don't. So what I'm going to do instead is just, oh, hey, there's another little building over here. Ooh, I kind of want to keep that too. So let's marquee buildings and props, I guess, probably. Turn off all of that. And does that get me all that? It does. Cool. And we'll drag that over by there. It's just little nice decorations I want to keep. And now we're just going to turn all these on. Only thing I'm really going to be dragging or grabbing is trees, but let's go somewhere that we've got a little bit denser tree cover, which, where is that? I don't know, maybe here? That'll work. We're going to just spam out a ton of trees, so hopefully this will get us, yeah, that's what we want to see, that dark green coming in, and we're just going to fill this in really heavily. And that's way bigger than it needs to be, but that's okay. And then I just want to come through. I'm going to leave forestry locked now. And I just want to clean up the shore just a little bit because we got really overzealous and put a bunch of trees in the water. I mean, they'll just eventually die and just be just dead trunks sticking out of the water. But we may as well clean that up a little bit. Cool. Cool. So this is all going to be just dirt roads for this entire industry. There's really no need for anything else, to be honest. It works just fine with just dirt. I want to come back just a little bit because I want to make room for a freight terminal through here. So we're going to put the main industry building just right here on the road, the main road. It doesn't generate any trucks. And actually, no, we're going to set it back just a little bit. I'm going to come back 4, and we're going to put it here. We're going to line that up, and we're going to put it right here in this little square. Just to set it back a little bit, give it a little bit of presence. And then I can't see what I'm doing. I hate that turns on automatically. I know there's a mod that gets rid of it, but oh, we jumped to look at the sky. Awesome. Anarchy's not on, but that's an awful lot of trees there. Does that thing always have that many trees? Probably. Let's get some water pipes out here real quick because we are going to need those. Let's turn off all of our snap juice since we've got to go around a corner here. Again, I don't know if it matters to do that, to turn it to where they're automatic instead of above ground. I've never noticed any difference. I mean, you can even tell them to be a tunnel and they still seem to be fine. There we go. That'll take care of that. And then I want to come in here with everything turned back on. And just follow that down right there and follow that across right there. So what I'm going to do real quick is consult my handy-dandy spreadsheet and see roughly what quantity of what I want for a forestry industry. All right, let's get started. I know what I want. And we need to get going because we've got heaps big unemployment. So I need to just check and see. We're going to just stick with just the small tree plantations. And I don't want 18 of them. I want to set them back just a little bit. This direction, but I want the road behind to come in right at the edge. So if this is 400, which is, oh, I made that 400. That just looks like that's going to be a little too big though, doesn't it? So we're 260 and then another 260 because I want that same bit of separation. It just looks like that's too big. Yeah, it's too big. It's too big. Oh, well, we're going to go with it anyway. So we're going to do... Do I have Anarchy on still? I do. I thought it looked like it was going to let me overwrite that. So if I want 18 of these, we can get a couple groups of 4 and some storage up this direction. So I'm just going to get this all whacked down real quick here for some roads. So let's think about some of that storage here and go away. Ooh, we might need to make this a little bit bigger. This area. We are going to put more storage than that, but I just wanted that to have a little bit of road. In fact, we might even turn that around. Let's bump that over by 1. Thank you. We're back in this view again. Yeah, let's turn these around just because. Just to keep all the trucks off of one road. Yeah, I know you don't have any water. We'll be fine. Trust me. And then back to these guys. Let's turn this off and drop in a few more of these. So that gives us 16, but we want 18 in total. So I think we'll just go with the other 2, like right here. I think that'll be just fine. And then we need to get some water pipes in here so the trees can grow up nice and big and strong. And that'll be fine. We'll go ahead and make that connection there. And then those should all be getting what they need. We are going to go ahead and turn on all of our policies, of course. So we should very quickly start getting some good stuff going here. What I want to do while we're waiting for that to get going and operating really well is bring in a cargo terminal. So what we're going to do on this side is this is going to be, and this is just a temporary road right here, just so I know this is following that same line, though it's not at 90 degrees. Why not? Come on, game. Cooperate with me here. I didn't want to turn. Let's try this again. Oh, I know. I didn't want to go at 90 because this is a weird connection. So we're just going to follow this out at 90 and be done with it. And I'm going to bring that out a pretty good distance. And then we're going to cut it off. And then I want to make sure that we're at least 3 away from there. And we are. There we go. And we're going to make this a one-way. Going the wrong way, of course, but fix it. And then we want to go out, and this will be our in right here. And then we'll just have like another road right there. Not one way though. That is all very crooked, but I'm okay with it. Well, we'll be fine with it. And then I just want to come in and get ourselves another cargo train terminal and put it kind of down towards this end, about there, and then get this guy connected up. Now we need some water over here. Wow, we've got a lot of stuff already happening at this cargo terminal. Let's get this under the road a little bit better. Hit multiple keys that I don't really need. And cool, I'm not going to do my processors just yet because I don't have the processors I want just yet. This is going to be one of those things. Where are you all coming from? Seriously, where are all these trucks coming from? Are you really driving from all the way over there when you've got your own train station right there? Really? That is so annoying when they do that. That is just, because that's just going to create so much traffic. Oh, that's really obnoxious. Alright, well, whatever. I'm going to get these trees. What do we want to set them to? Not that. Conifers? Beech? I don't think I want the alders. Yeah, let's just do conifers on all of these. And I just realized something. I did not mark these so they don't import. So that's why the city budget just tanked for a while there, because we were importing a shit ton of trees. There we go. That problem has been solved. So now this is going to be where I do like I always do and just get this thing leveled up and get it up to 5 stars, however I need to do that, and then we'll actually build it in its final form. And once that happens, so I will be back with you once we are at a 5-star forestry industry. So while we wait on the forestry, which it's over there doing its thing, there's one other thing that I've been wanting to do. I want to come in here with a key wall, and I want to put it, I really want to bring this in with this road here. So I need to just like put a road in just to mark where it's going to be. We will just bring this out to the edge, run it across there, and it's fine that it's on the ground because that's where it's going to go. So I want this to line up here, where that's probably a little far out. So I think we're going to go here and across. Should have my road guidelines. There we go. And then that's just like down there somewhere. And then I want to bring this straight as far as possible and then make our turn. And then we just need to grab all these nodes that are now underwater and bring them up. And what I want to do here is put in just one of our regular harbors. We are still going to add the big one with the trains over there. But for now, I want a harbor. So let's bring our key wall over just a smidge farther to about there and then run it back. I'm going to go all the way back there. And then we need to, again, grab nodes. Maybe. There we go. Got it, finally. And set all those to that same height. That looks good. And then just fill this in with some land, which is going to cause some temporary flooding. I'm fine with that because it is only temporary. And it looks like we might have a couple segments backwards on our key wall here that we need to fix. I'm going to go ahead and bring the land out. Nope, it's not backwards. It was just being weird with the train here. No, it might still be backwards. Let's grab the mod and see if we invert segment. Yep, that's what it was. That's a lot of flooding. It is definitely causing problems. Hopefully we don't lose too many buildings. Oh God, never mind. I spoke too soon. We lost a lot. Well, that's going to really help out at the forestry, because now they'll have lots of employees. And in fact, as we came over here, it upgraded. Like as I clicked on it. Cool, it's up to level 3. That's fine. It's all right. It'll be okay. So this should be calming down here. Should be and is are clearly two different things. And we're still getting some flooding. I'm just gonna let this chill out for a second, and then we'll get the harbor in. There we go. It is mostly chilled out. So we're just gonna drop one of these cargo harbors just kinda about there. That looks good to me. And then we're going to grab that and bring it down to this elevation. Awesome. And then we are going to run a one-way road. Actually, I'd like to move this over. Whoops, over some. Let's bump it over to about here. I think that's better. Because what I want to do is have our exit point lining up there, but that's going to be tricky. So again, I need some temporary roads so that I can see where this is going to go. So that's going to go there and then just come out. Did I really get that pretty much spot on to one? That works. And then line up with that connection there. Cool. And then we can just have and road. So not underground, above ground. There we go. Delete those. I could just upgrade them, but I can also just delete them. And we'll run through there, and then we'll run back there. We will eventually fill that in with something. Eventually. Possibly. Maybe. No, we will. Get some water to this friend. What I'm hoping is that our industry over here will start using this instead of this mess that we have going on. But to help with this mess that we have going on, we are also going to add in a road that mirrors our key wall here. Yeah, that looks better. I dig it. And then we'll just upgrade the or downgrade or whatever the road here to one way as needed. Hit the upgrade tool. Make sure these are coming in the right way. Cool. And yeah, we do have quite a few trucks using this, which is exactly what I was hoping to see. And it should also hopefully be reducing some of the traffic going across here. And this should be helping, I hope. Yeah, we're getting some trucks to go back and forth. I'm just trying to get some trucks off these two intersections here. It's just a bit much traffic. It's not coming from the oil industry proper. You can see that's fine. It's coming from all this stuff over here. I don't know why you guys are struggling to get workers. We have massive unemployment, 13% still. Granted, we've also lost a couple thousand employees, which sucks because I really was hoping to get the cargo harbor in. But we're going to resume, just waiting on Forestry to do its thing. And then that's probably where we'll end unless the population bumps up. And after like close to an hour, it finally is upgraded to level 5. I do already have in our engineered wood plants. We have 8 of those. So now we need to find room for 6 of our pulp mills and not an industry area, but they will fit right there. So let's get some roads in for these. And this is going to be maybe a little tricky to fit all 6 here. That'll give me room for 3. I really didn't want to get this close to the water, so that's 4. And then we can do 5 here. Oh, that's way too long. This one needs to come down 300, so we can do 5, and then I guess maybe the 6th one back here. Not exactly what I was planning, but I can make a connection like that. And that way it's not a straight through, so we shouldn't get too much bad traffic off of it. I think 2 connections will suffice in and out of both areas. I do already have in 1 maintenance building. We might throw another one in somewhere. I upgraded the storage, and we've got our workers barracks in. And we've got quite a few workers over here. So let's get some water pipes in here for these new buildings that we need to build. I've already forgotten what they're called. That's why I'm calling them new buildings. We'll know in a minute. Pulp mill? By the pulp mill factory? Is that what it is? Yes. So we just have to extend out the industry area. So we'll grab that, turn off that annoying thing, and just draw this right in. Just using the biggest circle that we have to paint with, just to ensure that I get everything in. It doesn't really matter. It's not a residential or pedestrian district, so it's not going to cost us money to have this. I'm just going to try to alternate these somewhat as to what road this is on. There we go. And that's all 6 of those. And that's our forestry industry. We'll probably see our worker number drops because I had a bunch of extra barracks just to get it to upgrade, but it will rebound in time. Yeah, we lost 300. But we also gained a lot of workplaces. We're already exporting some raw lumber. That should decrease. I still don't know where the import's coming from. I do want to make sure that these guys aren't importing, though, because they will. And we don't need it. We are more than producing enough just raw forestry products by about 19 tons. But since they had to go back and forth across the road, I wanted to be sure that we wouldn't have these dudes complaining about not enough goods. They may complain yet. Nope, they're fine. And then as soon as we start making some paper, this guy will start making some furniture. Already have a place for the unique factory products to go. Where they came from, don't really know. Probably either over at the bakery or over there at the household plastics factory. But that is a lovely little 5-star forestry industry that once we start, yeah, we're already making a ton of paper, so we'll start exporting that soon. This dude should start getting, oh, we don't have anywhere to store the paper. Let's move this over a little bit and come in. And I know just from experience that the forestry industry does crank out a lot of goods. So these should be plain timber, yeah, and then these other ones will be paper. So paper, and then they can drive around and get over there. But as usual, we have our extractors, our processors, and this really should be more over here, but there's not really room for it. And then a way to export it. All right here locally should keep traffic down. I am very pleased to see that there are some trucks using this. So before we wrap it up today, I just want to jump back over here to this area. Went ahead and added in a bunch more parking and kind of did my idea that I was talking about earlier for this area over here. That's why a lot of these guys are complaining about not enough workers again. They'll get enough eventually. And honestly, I kind of like it. Just having a bit of separation instead of having the buildings just one on top of one another. I do keep running into this problem, though. That they just keep building two of those side by side, and it just looks kind of dumb. Because that's a 4-tile lot. Well, that one's only 2. Never mind. I shouldn't have deleted those. But like there, see, they just want to build the 2x2 building instead of a 4x4 building. 4x4 buildings exist. We have them. Keep hitting escape again. We have them in there. Like, see, they exist. It's just they seem to really like these, and I don't like them because, well, they're just dumb looking. I mean, nobody works there. That's not a workplace. So I'll probably just keep playing whack-a-mole with these off camera to get them to finally grow in a way that I don't hate. But I think we've done good work here today. Let's check our unemployment. The population is rebounding. We're down to 11%. I might change this to Industry 4.0. Let's see. 69%. Yeah, Oriental District. Just to encourage some of these folks to come work out here, we're going to make this Industry 4.0. And that will decrease the number of jobs available, which will help with the not enough workers. But it will also encourage some of those educated people who are like turning their nose up at working in the oil industry. That should help them come out here because now you can see we have uneducated and educated 0 jobs, highly educated and well-educated, so high school and college. So that should help quite a bit. Nope, I keep deleting the one that has just 2. Oh well, I'll get it right eventually. But I think we've done good work. We do have a traffic challenge going in and out of this industry area, but I think we can fix that pretty easily once we finish this area out. There's actually going to be a collector that kind of runs up into here. That'll help a little bit. There's also going to be a collector running between these 2 areas, so that should help some as well. But yeah, nice little just forestry industry, not to mention everything that Destin did up here in Park Hills and Linden Hills. I will eventually finish out Garnet Hills. We do have, strangely, despite the fact we have 9% unemployment, we have a big demand for workers or for residents. I think that will kind of balance itself out as people get over to those new jobs. Just go ahead and switch both of these off from emptying. That's where we put them when we began the video. And I do like the mall moderation over here. I'm pretty sure we're going to have a detailing episode coming up soonish. If not a detail episode, then definitely a detailing live stream. Oh, by the way, we do have some just zoned forestry industry as well. And then they've got a place right here. Though it looks like they're not keeping up, so we need to make sure that they can use all their trucks to export. So I'm going to leave it there. So until next time, I'm Brandon, reminding you to drive a lonely highway and stay vainglorious.